How's it going, everybody? Cody from Builds here. Just wanted to give you a quick rundown on this new OBS Ford that we got coming out with the adjustable lifted suspension. Figured I would show you real quick the basics of putting it together, and then y'all can take it from there. Alright, so starting out, you're going to receive multiple arms. The top one here is going to be the rear with that notch in there. Front is going to be this one. You're going to end up with 4 of these. You're only going to use 2, but there's 2 extras. One's marked R for rear, one's marked F for front. You're going to get multiple pins. You're going to cut 2 down to just past halfway, 2 a little bit shorter, 2 the same length as these. You will also receive your chassis, your body, wheels and tires, engine, and I'm working on a little toolbox to include with it, and your normal brass axles. You'll receive a window sheet with pre-cut windows. Alright, so starting off, you're going to take your chassis and look at your suspension. You'll see this one has hydraulic steer on the front, so that's obviously your front. This tolerance is pretty tight, so you're just going to push that into place. Grab one of your brass axles, stick it into the side there, grab some of your clips, start wiggling it back and forth. It'll work its way through. I recommend right before you get all the way through on that side to cut it here, just flush with the side of the frame rail. Clip that off and then finish pushing it in. That'll give you a nice little flush mount. Same thing on the rear. Take the rear, start it in nice and even. I did make the rear a little bit tighter since obviously you might have like trailers or something hooked up to the back of this thing. You don't want it to sag. I tried to make it as tight as possible while still being able to move. So again, take another brass axle, start it in, clippers. This might take some moving around and getting it just in the right spot. Okay, there we go. Alright, so that came through a little bit on the other side, so I'm going to pull it out a little bit, clip it, push it in. So then you're left with this. Alright, from there, with your chassis just like that, you're going to come over here. We'll start with the rear. So you're going to take the little arm that has the notch in it. You're going to put it up in there. I sand these parts off just to get all the little nubs off before I do all this. Then you will find your little knuckle that says R. So we'll take this back off. So we have obviously the notch facing this way. This little knuckle here has a curve on the bottom. That curve has to go with the axle. So when you're putting it on here and looking at the truck, you have this arm sitting here, how it'd go. You line up the longer end on this with the back side of the axle. You will take one of your little pins that you got cut here. Oh, now I want to stick to the magnet. You're going to put that little pin. Oh, this is the tough part. It's very small parts, and they have to be pretty precise. Alright, so we got the pin right in there. Kind of hard to see. Let's see if we can get that to focus. So at this point, all that stuff. Okay, so I had to pour some super glue real quick and get my Insta set ready. So I'll push that pin back a tiny bit, and we'll drop of super glue. Put it right on the hole there. A little bit on the back side of the head of the pin. Push that right back in. And hit it with the Insta set. Go ahead and do the same thing with the front, going the opposite way. So you're gonna have this little guy, how it has the straight out edge on this side and the elevated side on this side. That elevated side is gonna go into the frame. So, pulling it back down here the way it goes, same thing with this side. You have that edge that goes down further on the bottom side. That is gonna go out towards the front of the truck. Grab your little pin here. I like using these little clippers because it holds on to them good, and no need for extra sets of pliers or anything. These work just fine. Get this just to set in there. Just some patience, that's all it takes. Alright, now we got that pin in there. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to glue the back side where the pin pushes through. Come up here on the front side. A little dab of glue on the head of the pin. A bit of quick set. So those two shortest pins that you're going to cut are only going to be the length from there to there. Those will be your shortest ones. Your second shortest ones will be for connecting these to the chassis. So this one being the front, we will put it up into place. We are going to take our medium-sized pins. I don't have exact measurements on these, but you can kind of eyeball them whenever you're cutting them. So that pin will go in there and hold that arm. Now before you slide that pin all the way through, you're going to want to put a little bit of glue. So even I'd cut this pin a little bit long, but it's okay for demonstration purposes. It'll help you see. So I put glue on both sides, and then I go in and I push that pin all the way in. Oh, when I close my Instaset, hit it with the Instaset, and that's good. Same thing on the rear. You're gonna notice that side with the notch goes right up into place there. Grab your other medium-sized pin. This is the fun part always. Get that started into place. Like I said, it just takes some patience getting it just right. Take your time. These parts are thin, so they can break easily. I am including the extra bars and the extra little knuckles just in case, but so far I haven't had any of those break. Push that pin into place. Hit it with the Instaset. Alright, and at this point, you are most of the way assembled. So you got your arms, little knuckles on there. At this point, I am going to recommend you paint your chassis. So you're going to want to do your base coat and get that on there. From that point, with these arms just kind of floating there, make sure that those still move freely. And then you'll have something like this. So I went ahead and painted this chassis, got it all ready to go. Same point that the other chassis was at. Alright, so you will now take your, I'd say they're just longer than half length. Oh, I'll pull our engine out real quick. So these ones will go in the axle. Get it started right there in the side. Oh, this one's gonna give me trouble, huh? Keep in mind, if you get your paint too thick, your tolerances will be tighter too. Alright, so we got that one started right there. Kind of hard to see at this angle, but get it started in there. Pull your arm down. Get your knuckle aligned in there. Whatever it may be called, I don't know. Just gotta make sure you got the angle straight on. Then you can go back to your little clippers, grab those. Use those to align it.
Take your time. Patience is key. Alright, that one.
I might not even need glue because it went in there pretty tight. But you can always do a little dot of glue here on the outside. Lock the head of that pin in there. Open up my Instaset again. Alright, and then same thing with the front. Take your larger pin, drop that down into place. Just line it up, push it in. Ooh. Don't drop it. So I'm going to put my thumb on the back side of the axle as I push this way on the head of that pin. Just doing everything I can to try and ensure that I don't ruin any paint or break anything. Alright, little drop of glue. Sometimes you need a little bit more glue. Better to need more than to try and take off. Alright, that's the basic setup of this chassis. From that point, you will have an adjustable lifted chassis. Take your wheels, slap those bad boys on. I already had these ones painted. So, that is your lifted adjustable chassis. It goes up and down. That arm does move with it. That arm does not do much for holding it. And if at any point these get loose, you can use Tester's Window Maker and put some in those gaps right there. And this stuff never really dries solid hard, so it helps tighten up those gaps if you need it. After that, if you choose to do the tilt bed, you will measure brass axle with the back of here, cut that down, and take that brass axle, hole in the back of the chassis, get that started. Work it in nice and slow like the rest. Alright. And you have that there. I take this body. I like to flip it upside down. Kind of drop it into place, grab my file. Has a broken end, but it's flat edge. Works nice. Put some pressure right on the middle one. Pushing it into place. Go over to the sides. Push those into place. Beautiful. Alright, now you have tilt bed. Then your cab. Oh wait, we gotta do engine first. We gotta show you how to do the engine. Your engine that you get, this one's all painted. You'll drop the transmission in first. This is kind of bad angle. You'll see the headers kind of have a little notch that they can slide into. So it'll slide in, it'll drop down, and then it'll push straight back in there. Cab goes on. Bed goes down. There's your truck. Now, whenever it is in the full up position, it does pull the wheels in a little bit, so I recommend not going all the way to the top. You can. Better on a front view if you go all the way up. Other than that, it goes pretty low. Tires tuck nice into the wheel wells, front and back. And yeah, it's a pretty rad truck. And then, like I said, I'm working on the little toolbox. I should have that finalized tonight. So, I should have a little toolbox to go back there. And yeah, should have this one up on the site very soon. You guys will get to building soon.